choice.
No, I'm not good. I'm not good. I'm not good. Mom,
You made me right away.
are you gonna vote?
Hold on, six.
Are you gonna vote?
No, with the baby in your head.
Sorry, guys.
What are we doing? What are we doing today, Chrisean? What are we doing?
I'm gonna be honest. I was drunk a lot because of you. Because if you really cared for me and if we was really having good time, you was like, babe, we don't need this drink. We don't need a shot. You was encouraging drinking. You was, you know what I'm saying? I was sad as why would you, as my man, be okay with me drinking like that?
Standing there while the baby was being made and did nothing. You did nothing. You watched her. You watched her because you was scared she was in control of the money. I wouldn't have gave a about that money. I'd have snatched her ass up and took her to home and made sure she at least got the mental help and counseling that she needed during her pregnancy so that she wouldn't have to regret it for the rest of her life. But don't point the finger at me, cause I ain't never smoked no weed, drunk no liquor. I never did nothing while I was pregnant. I took my vitamins every day, even though they made me nauseous. I fought for my kids to be here. Now fight for you.
There was a time when Chrisean Rock was seen as nothing more than a rising reality star, a loud, confident, and chaotic personality who captured attention everywhere she went. But over the years, that attention evolved into something far darker. What began as viral moments and relationship drama has spiraled into one of the most disturbing social media stories in recent memory. A story of fame, family, and a child caught in the middle of it all. Because when everything about your life is online, the line between parenting and content starts to disappear. Chrisean Rock's rise to internet infamy didn't come from music or talent shows. It came from chaos. The public first met her through Blueface, a Los Angeles rapper known just as much for controversy as for his music. Their relationship became a constant spectacle, full of fights, livestream meltdowns, and breakups so public that millions began to treat them like entertainment. But when Chrisean became pregnant, the story changed completely. What once looked like harmless drama suddenly turned into a crisis that would expose the dark reality of fame in the digital age, where even a newborn baby could become part of the content machine. Chrisean gave birth to her son Chrisean Jesus Malone Jr. in September 2023, live on Instagram in front of thousands of viewers. The moment should have been private, emotional, and sacred. Instead, it became viral spectacle. Clips of the birth flooded TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter within hours, and the internet split in half. Some called it empowering, others called it disturbing. From that moment, the internet's relationship with Chrisean changed forever. She wasn't just a controversial personality anymore, she was a mother, and everything she did from that day on would be judged through that lens. But Chrisean didn't slow down. In fact, she did the opposite. She brought her son onto live streams, public events, and social media fights. Viewers noticed how she'd appear on camera while the baby was in the background, sometimes crying, sometimes ignored. Screenshots and clips started circulating across Reddit and X, painting her as reckless and unfit. And that's when the label started spreading, the worst mother on the internet. But what made it worse was who was pushing that narrative the hardest, Blueface himself. Only weeks after the child was born, Blueface took to social media and posted a photo of their baby, exposing the child's medical condition for the entire internet to see. The image showed the child's hernia, something that should have never been made public. Blueface claimed the baby's surgery was delayed because Chrisean had missed appointments. Chrisean fired back, saying it was a lie and that she had never neglected her son. The fight wasn't private. It unfolded in real time across X, Instagram, and live streams. And what made it even more tragic was that both parents seemed more concerned with being right online than actually protecting their child. And from there, things only got worse. But to understand how things spiraled this far, you have to look at how Chrisean's entire career was built, not on peace or progress, but on conflict, chaos, and pain. Before Chrisean Rock became a mother, she was already known for her explosive relationship with Blueface. Their connection began in 2020 on the reality show Blue Girls Club, a bizarre web series where women lived in Blueface's house and competed for his attention. It was marketed as entertainment, but what audiences witnessed was a raw display of dysfunction. Chrisean quickly stood out. She fought other contestants, argued with Blueface, and showed a kind of unfiltered emotional chaos that viewers couldn't look away from. It was the beginning of a pattern where pain became content and where drama meant success. From there, her life became a public roller coaster, arrests, arrests, tattoos of Blueface's face, and viral fights in the street. Each controversy seemed to push her further into the spotlight. But what no one realized at the time was that this constant exposure was building a brand based entirely on emotional breakdowns. When fame rewards instability, every mistake becomes a business opportunity. By the time she became pregnant, Chrisean had already built an audience that thrived on her worst moments. Her followers didn't tune in for happiness, they tuned in for destruction. And when her son was born, that same audience wanted more. What should have been a new chapter in her life became a new form of content. She started live streaming almost daily, often appearing tired, distracted, or arguing with Blueface. Clips surfaced of her taking her baby to chaotic environments. Concerts, clubs, even streams with adult conversations happening around the child. Every video seemed to feed into the same question. Was Chrisean ready for motherhood, or was she trapped in a cycle that fame wouldn't let her escape from? Then came the Twitch incident. A clip went viral showing Chrisean talking to fans while her baby was allegedly left alone in a car. Within hours, CPS and Chrisean Rock Baby were trending nationwide. Viewers accused her of neglect, calling for authorities to intervene. Chrisean later defended herself, claiming there were people with the baby and that the situation was exaggerated. But by then, it didn't matter. The damage was done. The internet had made up its mind. From that moment on, everything she did was framed as evidence that she wasn't fit to be a mother. She could be holding her child lovingly or singing to him, and the comments would still flood in, calling her dangerous, unhinged, or unfit. And while some of those criticisms came from genuine concern, others came from people who simply enjoyed watching her fall apart. That's the cruel reality of internet fame. When your downfall becomes entertainment, redemption stops being profitable. And Chrisean seemed to know that, because instead of disappearing from the spotlight to rebuild her life, she kept feeding the cycle. More live streams, more arguments, and more exposure of her baby's private moments. But as the backlash grew, another layer to this story began to form. A war between Chrisean, Blueface, and his family that would drag their child deeper into a world he never asked to be part of. The feud between Chrisean Rock and Blueface's family turned what was already a chaotic situation into something far darker. At the center of it all was Carlissa Saffold, Blueface's mother, a woman who quickly became one of Chrisean's loudest critics. Carlissa began publicly accusing Chrisean of being unstable, claiming she was unfit to raise a child and that Blueface needed to take custody. The feud spilled across Instagram stories, live streams, and interviews. Carlissa would post long rants about Chrisean's behavior, while Chrisean would clap back with her own fiery responses. It wasn't just a family disagreement anymore. It was a public war, and their son was the ammunition.
Can't even tell you what my mind wanted to do to you once I looked in his face and I didn't know if he was looking at me, you, or the air. I was hurt, genuinely hurt. All them mother drank and smoked while they was pregnant. That's why they're so angry. Because who the fuck is angry? You supposed to be angry at him.
Even Blueface himself weaponized the conflict. At one point, he tweeted that Chrisean was putting their child in danger, accusing her of using the baby for sympathy online. In return, Chrisean released a music video called Baby Father Drama, where she accused Blueface of being manipulative and violent. Each side was fighting to control the narrative, but neither seemed to care about what it was doing to the child caught in the crossfire. What made the entire situation even more unsettling was how comfortable everyone seemed being public about it. Instead of solving things privately, every argument, every insult, every personal detail about the baby's health or custody was turned into entertainment for millions of viewers.